Good morning, children. Let us discuss the rest of the unsolved questions. So then, next is solved questions. List the criteria for selecting a primary key for a table. So, to select a primary key, we know that column should have unique values, and that column should always have values. So, let us see what are the criteria. So, while choosing a primary key, it must be ensured that it must have unique value, that is, it must uniquely identify the row. So, that key should have unique value because it should uniquely identify a row. Then it should not have null values, that is, it should have some values. Then it should not change over a period of time, that is, we cannot change the values in a primary key. And it should be as short as possible. The next question, give any one advantage of using a primary key. So the main advantage is that it can uniquely identify a row. So your roll number can be used to identify you people in your class. So likewise, the primary key is one which has a unique value for the row. This key helps to reduce data redundancy, that is, duplicate data can be avoided using primary key. Then next question, define candidate key. A candidate key uniquely identifies the row in a table. Each table may have one or more candidate keys, but one candidate key is unique and is called the primary key, and the rest of the candidate keys are called alternate key. Then what is the difference between primary key and alternate key? So in a candidate key, one key is selected as one or more keys can be selected as primary key. Then the rest of the keys are taken as alternate key. So primary key, every table naturally includes one or more fields that comprise a primary key, which differentiates one record from another. Then alternate key, there may be two or more attributes or combination of attributes which uniquely identify an instance of an entity set. In such a case, we must decide which of the candidate keys will be used as the primary key. The remaining candidate keys would be considered as alternate keys. The next one, what do you understand by a table? Give suitable example of candidate key from a table containing some meaningful data. So a table may have more than one such attribute or group of attributes that identifies a tuple uniquely. So in a table there are some columns which can uniquely identify a tuple. So all these columns are called candidate keys. So here is an example of the table item. The name of the table is item. Then it has three columns: item number, item name and quantity. So here you can see item number column has unique values, that is, its values are not repeated, that is, it has only unique values and it does not have null as the value. Some columns will have null as value, that is, it has no value. In MySQL, that in relational database, the cells with no values are indicated by null. So a primary key column should not have null value. So here in all these three columns, the columns do not have null value. Then the item number is unique and the item name is also unique. And in quantity table, there is a chance that the value of the quantity column can be unique. If pen and pencil both are of same quantity, then there is a chance for same data. So this column cannot be considered as primary key. And so the other columns, item number and item name, has unique values, so this can be considered as primary key. So since these two columns can be considered as primary key, these two columns are called, or these two fields, item name and item number, are considered as candidate keys. And from this we can select any one as the primary key. And if we select item number as the primary key, then item name becomes the alternate key. And if item name I take as primary key, then the item number becomes the candidate key. Then what do you understand by primary key? Give suitable example of primary key from a table containing some meaningful data. So an attribute or set of attributes which is used to identify a tuple uniquely is known as primary key. So in a table, each row can be uniquely identified by a column. A column uniquely identifies each row. That particular column is called the primary key. So a primary key is an attribute or set of attributes that uniquely identifies a particular row. So here we have a table department. The name of the table is department. So it contains three columns that are department number, department name, that is D name. These are the column names: DEPT number, D name, and location. So DEPT number represents department number, D name represents department name, and location, which floor. So here we can consider the department number and department name as the primary key, because both these have unique values. It is not repeated. 10 is not repeated, 11 is not repeated, and here also English, physics, chemistry, biology, computers. So here also no values are repeated. But in case of location, you can see first floor is repeated 2 times, then second floor is repeated 2 times. So here repetition is there, so this column cannot be considered as the primary key. But here D name and department number do not have duplicate values. That is, department number and D name has unique values. So any column from these two can be considered as primary key. So department number and D name are candidate keys, and we can select any one as the primary key. So we can usually we select numbers as the primary key. So we can select department number as the primary key. Then here we have two candidate keys, department number and D name are candidate keys, and we select department number as the primary key, then D name becomes the alternate key. Then next is, what are the advantages of DBMS? The various advantages of DBMS are: it reduces data redundancy, that is, it avoids duplicate storage of duplicate data. Then it controls data inconsistency, that is, if data in one location is changed, then there is a chance that data copy of data in different other locations are not changed. That is, inconsistency is controlled using database. Then it provides sharing of data with multiple users. Since only single copy is stored, all the users use the same copy of the data. Then it provides backup and recovery. That is, its data are backup, and if data is damaged, the data can be recovered. Then integrity can be maintained through database. That is, if we change in one location, since data is stored only in a single location, if we make change to the data, all the users will get the new copy of the data. That is called integrity is maintained. Then database enforces standards. So all types of standard data can be stored in the database. Then it controls unauthorized access to data. That is, it provides security to the data. Okay, thank you children.